Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you are all well. Do you know what? The dust has settled a little bit on the Robert Card situation, and I thought that I would just have a little bit of a rant. So apologies, because this is going to be a rant. But look, you're amazing. You're always amazing. And because of that, you need to hear the truth, not some watered down, diluted version of what's going on. And what do I mean by that? Look, Robert Card, he's obviously the guy who, let's put it this way, he was a guy who suffered from severe mental illness and ended up exacting some form of plan. And I say plan because Robert Card had said that this is what he was going to do. This is a guy who, yes, he had his military training. He was a weapons specialist, if you will, a trainee, train people in using weapons. And he would threaten to shoot up a National Guard station. He would then be institutionalised because of severe mental health issues, and then he would be released into the public 2 weeks later. Now, you have to question what was the motivation behind enabling someone, because let's put it this way, it was enabling someone to do the very thing that they threatened that they were going to do. We have so many people who are posting all over the place. These people who claim that this is politically motivated, this political terrorist situation. They even play the race card, saying that this is a white man shooter, and it's sickening. It's sickening when people go down the route of saying this guy's a political terrorist, and that's the narrative that's usually pushed. This guy weren't a political terrorist. There was no political motivation here. This was a guy who had mental health issues, who had threatened to do this and did it. And who needs to be held accountable is the American government. It's as simple as that. The people who enabled this guy to commit this heinous, atrocious act. There is no excuse for it. Absolutely no excuse whatsoever. And even though, I do have some sympathy for people who have mental health because I've seen what they can do, it doesn't stop the fact that they are an individual and they have choices. Now, you've either got to accept that they have choices, but there just simply is nothing that can be done. Nothing that can be done whatsoever, and there is no real help out there, which I can't personally speak on behalf of the United States people to confidently say that regardless of how much you're willing to yourself as an individual seek and action help, I just can't do that. I can speak sort of confidently on the UK and the fact that there is an acute, how can I say, there just isn't a massive amount of help. If you are an individual who wants to get better and you want the help, there are things that you can do as an individual, but you have to have supporting people around you to help facilitate that. But this guy was a trained killer, and the system and the people within that didn't do what they should have done. And this was the repercussions of it. And as much as they want to hide behind anything else and try and push some other narrative, it is as simple as this. Mental health issues exist. And in this case, with this individual, this is a situation that could have been avoided. And it could have been avoided quite clearly by, when he was institutionalised, not releasing him into the public 2 weeks later. That's as simple as that. I don't know how to make that any more clear. And if people want to claim the race card on this, do you know what? The only thing that would have happened if this would have been a black male shooter, the biggest thing that would have happened was this would have been very, very quickly forgotten about in the media, and it would have been more about what backlash the media and the bigger entities would have got for saying certain things around it. Whereas it's almost like if it's a white individual that does it, it's an easier route to take by saying that this is politically motivated, when in fact it's not that whatsoever. It is the aforementioned mental health issues, and they are your issues. And let's not get into looking into the figures in terms of who does mass shootings, because that's not going to bode well for anybody trying to play a race card doing such things. But Robert Card was an individual who had stated what he was going to do, and he was facilitated by the system to do it, and they need to do better. I'll catch you all in the next one. In the live later, join me, which will touch on this again, among many other things that have driven me nuts over the last few months that we've been without lives. I'll catch you all then.